So Benson, it's good you're back. I think now we can just get back to continuing with the meeting that we had already started before. We did prayers, we did the welcome remarks, and now we'll have the presentation from the CECI management led by Benson, and we're going to have a presentation on the annual work plan and annual budget 2023. Benson, you have it.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. I thought I was going to catch up with the time, but the program took me longer. But thank you also for accepting to giving me the time to reach fast. I arrived well. Yeah, just straightforward. I don't know the mode of presentation. You want me to share my screen?
Definitely. That would be the best, definitely, yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Are people able to see my screen?
Yeah. We're seeing a budget though, not the annual work plan.
Yeah, I'm actually sharing the budget.
Don't you think it would be good to start with the annual work plan first?
Okay.
Yeah, because it will give a good background for understanding the budget, because the budget is a product of it.
All right, then. Let me get to Irene, what are you eating?
Do you actually have another Irene there who is eating?
I saw someone chewing like Irene.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Director. Are you calling this Irene or a different one, though?
This one. Our Irene, our Ayo.
Oh.
Let me. Let me start sharing again the screen.
Okay.
Window. As if
Is everything okay?
everything is okay, but I'm not seeing the document on my. This is it. Just a moment.
Okay. like it's worshiping there.
It is. Yeah, there's a church near here.
Oh.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Enable editing. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, members. I believe that you probably must have went through this document. It has been developed by the management, intended for 2023-2024. The goal is improve the service delivery to a community affected by crisis in 2023. The organization is Community Empowerment for Creative Innovation.
Quick
The mission
question,
is,
Benson.
yes, please.
Sorry to disturb. Would you like to expand on it, like zoom in or zoom out? I don't know which one, but it's like I think it's not very visible. I don't know if you guys can see it clearly from your end.
Like this is okay. I've zoomed a bit.
Still,
It's still, yeah. It's just the way you opened at first. It's like it's disaggregated into different.
Meaning, let me cancel that and share again.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing that.
Okay. Or else, if you're having difficulty sharing from your side, I could share too from mine.
Let me first share this.
Okay.
Like this is okay?
Yes.
Or it is still
yes, it's good.
like this is okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Irene, Topi, are you able to see it?
yes, it's much better.
It's much better, yeah? Irene?
Yeah.
See.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. Okay, please go ahead.
So the mission is to promote peace, self-reliance, and dignity through recreational activities, education, and other innovations, going beyond relief and development. And the vision is a peaceful, self-reliant community. So we have made this in form of columns and rows. Column number 1 is the objective. Column number 2 is the expected outcome. And then column number 3 is key action steps. And then the column number 5, which is a calendar by activity, and it is being put in terms of quarter 1, 2, 3. That Q there stands for quarter. And 4, we have the geographical area, and then we have a target, the baseline per year, and then we have the responsible person, including the area. So under column 1, the objective, which is objective 1, using database programming to address the real needs of refugees and host communities. So here we expect that under 1.1, the key areas of need in relation to peace building, livelihood, environmental, conservation, education, and education identified and documented. That is our expectation. And we also expect that there should be specific skills development needs of youth, women, girls, and the persons with the special needs identified and documented. 3.1.3 stakeholders to engage in addressing identified needs marked. 1.4, it is advocacy and lobbying for support carried out. 1.5, by looking at the resources mobilized to address the identified needs. So, and the key action, which is more or less like an activity, is the 1.1.1 is conduct needs assessment in refugees and the host communities and selected the rural villages and areas in the Bidibidi and the Palorenya, in the Obongi and the Yumbe districts. So this is expected to happen in Q1. When you see under Q1, it is highlighted. So meaning that this will is expected to happen in Q1. So the geographical areas is Bidibidi, Koboko, and Palorenya refugee settlements. So the baseline per year is 2. And the person responsible is the male officer. So under objective 2, when you see OBJ, that is objective, and then 2, to work with the communities and the institutions to develop and implement local creative and innovative peace building and the non-violent solutions to conflict in the refugee and the host communities. So and the peaceful coexistence among refugees and between refugees and the host communities in the Koboko, Bidibidi, and the Palorenya refugee settlements. So key areas of action is support vulnerable women with the small-scale business programs, and this is expected to happen in Q2, and this is specifically in Bidibidi, and then with the target or the baseline, we expected 10 people to 20 vulnerable women to be supported. And then the program, the persons responsible are the program officers and the field officers. 2.1.2, organized trauma healing sessions. And this is expected to happen on quarterly basis throughout the year. And the location is Bidibidi, Koboko, Palorenya. And then the target is 9, expected 9 sessions to be conducted until the end of the year. Organize games and the sports, music, drama, and the dance, debates, and the poems in schools and the community galas. This is expected to happen in Q3 and 4. And it is in Bidibidi, Koboko, and Palorenya. The baseline is 30. The people responsible are the program officers and the field officers. So
I have a question, just a quick one.
Yes, please.
Sorry to interrupt you, by the way.
Exactly.
I needed clarity on how baseline and the targets are being used here, because the baseline is more like you already have that number in place. It already exists, has been done. So you're building on that for the next activity, which is supposed to be, let's say, a target. You're building for the next target. So in this case, when you say 20, 9 or 30 as baseline, what, and at the same time as target, would you like to clarify what exactly that is?
No, here I think most are looking at a target. For example, 2.1.1 in Biribidi, we already have these women, so we're building already from there. So meaning that the support will go to already established number of people who are 20, and that is the target which is set there.
Okay, and then when it comes to the games and sport, you're going to be organizing 30 games and sports activities in Koboko, Yumbe, and Palorinya, or also these activities have already been organized? What exactly is it?
these activities are already there. These activities are already there.
I still don't understand this. Would you please clarify what exactly that means?
Okay, meaning that we're going to be organizing these games and the sports, music, drama, and dance, debates, and poem. In total, will be like a 30. But this 30 will be spread in all these settlements where we are operating. Yes.
And
Yeah.
when you say they are there, what does that mean?
It means that there are already sports groups, which are already in existence in where we're working, and these schools are already there. So we have been supporting, particularly for the schools we have been supporting.
Okay, so in this case of the work plan, what exactly are we talking about? Are we talking about supporting 30 groups, or we are talking about supporting or organizing 30 games and sports activities, which is what the action point is saying?
It is a 30 sports activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is
It's
something
not the
maybe
groups.
you need to define very clearly within the targets, just such that we know, for example, that you're going to organize 30 these very activities for 30 activities or 20 women or, yeah. Okay. So sorry to disturb you. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, it is okay. It is fine. 2.1.4 is a strengthen and a support to peace committees. Peace committees, we have community education committees and the youth education committees. We already have those groups established. So what we are going to do here is strengthen them, strengthen these groups, strengthen and support them. And this is expected to happen in Q2 and Q3. And of course, same geographical location, and we expected to have 12 groups supported. So we have organized community outreach on peaceful coexistence. So we also intend to have this every quarter and in our 3 locations, and we expected to have organized 12. These 12 spread it into all these locations. Organized issue-based community peace
Sorry,
dialogues.
I had a question too regarding
Yes.
regarding the community outreach. What exactly is that? When you say community outreach, what exactly is that?
Okay. Community outreaches. These are more or less like going organizing some specific sessions in the community. Yeah, but it is really organized in the community, and that the community takes a lead in that. And of course, our team gets to support in terms of providing a technical ideas, maybe facilitating. Yeah. So that is what we are meaning about the outreach.
So are these outreaches more like campaigns, like, because the term community outreach is so huge, because even the formal activities can be part of an outreach. Okay, Irene has a hand up. Maybe Irene, please have it.
Oh, sorry, but you
No,
were
no worries
asking.
at all. Yeah.
I also have a question on that. Maybe when you talk of community outreach, like for me, I would love to see a community outreach on what? Girl education, probably peace building, to help somebody who is reading to understand exactly what is going to take place, and also probably your target. And still, my question on the activities here, games and sport, the MDD. I don't know how the activities. Is it the whole year or 1 quarter? Because it looks to be too much. Me, at first, I understood this 30 as like 30 different groups. You're going to work with 30 different groups. But if it is 30 different activities, I don't know if I've understood it. You would also clarify Patrick to help me understand that. But on this, we expect some topics and the outreach. Thank you.
Thank you. To the outreach is made specific on peaceful coexistence. So and of course this like we have these groups which are already in existence, which we have trained them. They will take a lead in that to have the responsible people, and then the intention here is that we go once in a quarter. So meaning that this 12 is being divided, is being spread, meaning that every location will have 4 outreaches specifically on. For example, we are working in Ibidibidi cluster 3 and 4. So we can say the 4 outreaches will be based on villages, and then we talk about the peaceful coexistence bit of it. While the issue of the games and sport, these activities, there are many. Like organized games and sports, there's music, there's drama, there's debate. Yeah, we use music. We have ever done this. We have ever done the cultural gala. So, and we have ever supported also the sports when we have ever done the debates. And these are also very specific. Others are in community and others are in schools. So that's why you see that number there. So it may not only be the games and sport that it takes the 30, but the games of sports may be one in each location, and then we'll have poems organized in schools and debates also in schools. I hope I made that clear now. But I can still welcome other question. 2.1.6 is organized based. Somebody is coming
Okay.
in? Yes. Okay. 2.1.
Okay, yeah, still on this the MDD.
Yes.
If you would really break like the way you're explaining right now, it would be more clearer so that we know. Okay, we have probably 10 schools that we are going to have maybe one activities within these schools, and you break these ones because work plan depends on your map. You map the area you're going to work. You know how many schools you're going to have these activities, and you divide so that this 30 looks to be real. Say, okay, if you do like 10, 10, 10, 10, okay, this school have these 10 activities, the other school is this 5, 5, 5. But thank you, at least. Thank you.
Okay, so welcome. Organized issue-based community peace dialogues. There are issues. This one explains there are issues that comes up by coincidence, unplanned, but we realize that it is being caused by certain triggered by certain factors. So that's why we call this issue-based, but we don't expect that issues are going to be many. and they're going to continue because we are going to engage people more on peace building, peaceful coexistence. So that's why we are put here issue based on the experience that we had last year. Sometimes people come and they organize their session, and then we come and support in mediation and the like. So that is the meaning of that. So we'll have 3, 6, and then spread in the 3 locations. Organize peace and conflict resolution training workshops. We said the 3 can have one in all the locations, bringing people together. Organize online interface on hate speech mitigation sessions. And we said this one will be done, since it's called online, so it is virtual. So we say we can have 2, and this can be done in the third quarter. So here the program manager and the ED will be responsible to organizing that. 9, organize youth exchange visits. And they will say the geographical location is Uganda. We can do within Uganda. And then we said we can have 81. And that should be in quarter 4. Celebrate the International Day of Peace. We said the 3. So this 3 is spread in
Just a quick one, Benson.
Yes, please.
Just in case there's a hand up, like it is now, it is your responsibility to take it up, because you're the one presenting. So just so you know.
I'm not yet seeing insane.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Irene has her hand up.
Okay, Irene, please.
Thank you, Director. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm seeing, I don't know, I'm just throwing in, and if members can also have a look. Workplan 215 and 6. I think we can have this instead of dividing them.
215.
Organize outreach on peaceful coexistence and organize issues, community peace dialogue. I don't locate me there.
Yeah, I got you clearly. Your meaning it should be merged, suppose, right? To become as one?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm throwing in is a suggestion. Also, members can, you can also, as well as educate me. So you can tell us why probably it's divided.
Yeah, before members come in, why we have separated them to be different is the community outreach we are looking into. We are looking into particularly the groups, the peace groups that we have. We have forums, we have groups, we have these clubs, which are in the community, and they become agents of our of peace in the community. While the issue-based, this is more on technical thing. Like for example, last year there are issues that as we implement activity in certain locations, people come with the reports on specific issues that are happening. For example, we had an marrying a refugee, and then it became a kind of issue, and the people resorted into fighting, and so those are our look. We're looking at that point where it becomes an issue specific. We don't want to be taken by surprise. So that's why we have separated it like that. And
Okay.
that's why we also.
So this is, so if I understand this clearly, at least from the earlier explanation, and this one is that the issue based
Yes,
is more like a contingency plan. It's more like disaster preparedness. Just in
yes,
case a disaster happens, we'll have
yes,
these things to do.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's a subject. If Irene is already moving a point that it should be merged together, but that was the kind of thinking we had when we were putting this. And they were expecting that this thing will be happening throughout the year, throughout the quarters. So meaning that we should really get prepared always for that. Irene, have I made it a little bit clear?
Yeah, although I still stand with my point, but it's okay.
Okay, okay. Others will come in, so it is fine. So I was at point 10, but Chair, I hope you have taken note of that point, so that later maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah.
So the last one under objective 2 is to celebrate the International Day of Peace. And we say International Day of Peace is celebrated in quarter 3. And we say the 3, we can celebrate this 3 in the 3 locations that we are going to operate in. Like the way we support, until we are supporting like the celebration of the Women's Day, both in Koboko and in Yumbe. So objective 3 is to empower girls and children in and out of school through educational and holistic programs focused on menstrual hygiene, peace education, critical thinking, physical activity, cultural exchange, health information, and reproductive health. So we expect that 3.1 we need to increase enrollment and the retention of children in the refugee settlements. So coming to key areas of actions is said we want to promote menstrual hygiene management in schools and the communities. So we said this should be able to happen in Koboko, which is Loble, and Kuluba refugee settlements. We have a target of 300. We have a target of 300. Yes, please. Somebody is coming on. Are we moving okay?
No one is coming on. I think you have the floor.
Oh,
I
okay,
can see
okay.
a hand up, yeah.
Okay. So we intend to support 300 girls with this menstrual hygiene management, both in schools and the community. So, and here we're very specific. This is only in Koboko. So we said organize peace education sessions in schools. Here we're also very specific to Koboko. And then we said we have 2 locations, Lobele and the Kuluba, and we also have these schools that we work with in those sub counties. So we said we can organize these sessions, 12 of them in this location. So we said organize school debates. This one we're also very specific because the target is we want to increase enrollment. And then we say we can have 2 in quarter 2 and quarter 3. Organize games and sports in schools. Yeah, we say the 3 in the 3 locations: Koboko, Yumbe, and Palorenia. Broadcast children educational radio programs. We target the three locations, and we say we can have 3 in Q2, Q3, and Q4. Organize sessions on menstrual hygiene management in schools and the communities. Yeah, here we said we can organize 12 sessions in schools in these 3 locations that we are operating in. Form and train girls club on menstrual hygiene management at the schools. So we said we can form 2 clubs in the 2 locations of Ulobele and then Kuluba. These ones are all located in Ikoboko. Support school-going girls with the sanitary kits. So yeah, we said we can be able to support 500 girls with the sanitary kits. And this happens in Q1, Q2, and Q3. We said we will organize inter-school exchange visits, and this can be done throughout the year. And this will be in Lobele, in Kuluba. And then we said we can have three learning visits, exchange learning visits. We said we can celebrate the International Women's Day on 8th March in Q1, which we have already celebrated in Koboko. For Yumbe is pushed to next week. And this one we put in 2 locations. That is Yumbe and the Koboko. So we said we can celebrate the Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is on 28th of April. This will be in Q2. We said we can have this done in the 2 locations. We can have two of them. And then celebrate International Youth Day on 12th of August. And that will fall in Q3. And they will support this in the 3 locations. Celebrate International Peace Day, in the 3 locations. Also said we need to celebrate the Girl Child Day, which is on 11th of October. Is it 11 of October? Probably there's something missing here, but it is 11th of October. We said we can celebrate in the 3 locations. Or celebrate White Canes Day, which is 15th of October. In the 3 locations, we said we can celebrate 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which will start from 25th to 10th December. That will be the last quarter, and in the 3 locations. We have the Human Rights Day, which is in the 3 locations as well, celebrated, because it is attached together actually with the 16 days of activism. Objective 4.
Yes, just a quick one. You left out Day of the African Child.
The African Child,
yeah,
I jumped there.
Tabista also has a hand up, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm seeing the Peace Day featuring twice, I think in Objective 2 and also here. So it's like a repetition of what is already out there.
Yes, when you see some of these days, they are also in the objective, I think objective one, is it one or two there? But this objective 3 is specifically the focus is just enrollment and the retention of girls in school. That's why it is a little bit very specific in that. That's why we brought them to have a different objective. But otherwise, it could be the same. I don't know if I have.
Actually,
Yes.
if
Yes,
I
please.
may, Benson, I think
Yes.
Topist has made a very good observation.
Mm.
Because when you look at 2.1.10, which is an
Okay.
objective 2, and
True. Yeah.
then you look at also Peace Day in objective 3. These are literally, they are the same thing.
Yeah. It's
This
true.
you're talking about.
Then it has been repeated. We can remove 2.110.
Yes, it's 2.110.
Yeah, we can
But
remove that.
because
I agree.
there is differences though in the target. That's the point.
Yeah.
So that is maybe something you want to harmonize, and I think that's really a very good observation, Topi.
Yeah. Thank you. Can we proceed?
From my side, I
Are
think
we
so.
agreeing? Can we remove that activity because it has featured down here?
I believe we can remove it from up and retain it in the down space
In
where
career.
all the international days are featured.
Yeah, which is also kind of easy to track, right? Because they're all featured right
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're agreeing that we remove that one, and then it is, and then it should be
Featuring in objective 3
featured
only.
in objective 3. Yeah. Okay. So objective 4 is to assist. Somebody wants to say something? Please, Chair, you cannot monitor because I'm
Yeah,
not seeing.
sure. Okay, no worries.
To assist youth, women, and the girls, persons with special needs, to develop basic skills in business, technology, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and farming that empower them to become active participants in their own development. So we want to say that there's improved well-being among households through income enhancement, resilience, and the coping mechanism. And for us to achieve that, we said we want to create income generating activities for women and dropout girls. And we said 50 in all the locations. We said we need to support the vulnerable women with the startup kits. This is in Q1. We said we can support 20 of them. And I think before someone comes with a comment, I think this featured in objective 1. Is it objective 2? Yeah. Train youth on computer and the digital. We said this one we can train 50 of them, but the location will be in Koboko. Literacy skills. But we can do it only in Koboko. So organize awareness sessions on food storage and the management. This one said we can do it in Midibidi. We can have these sessions, 10 of them. Organize awareness session on backyard gardening and a small-scale urban farming. We said we can have 24 of them. This awareness should be in Q1 and Q2. Support microfinance, VSL activities. We said we can do this in Ibidibidi, in Koboko, and the Palorena, and we said we can have 24 of them. Provide financial and technical support to help youth, women, and the girls, and the PSN, persons with special need, establish and grow their own business. So we said 20 of these people will provide them the financial support and then the technical bit of it for them to be able to manage. So that is all about objective 4. Unless if there's observation.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Okay. First, to me, it looks that 4.1.2 and the 2.1.1 are the same thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
1.8,
Are they?
2.1. Yeah, actually, I made that comment there.
Okay.
I made it
okay.
comment there. Yeah, I think we just need to remove one out.
Okay, and then regarding the microfinance, like the VSLA activities.
Yes.
So when you say 24, what are these 24? Are these groups that will be supported, or what exactly is it? Because you just say 24 activities, but what are these activities?
It is a 4.1.6, right?
0.7.
0.7. Okay. We said support microfinance, VSL activities.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these are more or less like sessions. These are more or less like sessions. Like this support, we already have the groups. We have for Yumbe we have groups already, and then for Koboko we already have those groups, and some of these groups we have already supported them. I mean, we extended funds to them already, and they are working very well. So this support here is more or less like coming from time to time to do a kind of follow-up. That is the support we're talking about.
Then it would be good for you to clarify that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then 4.1.8, I think 4.1.8 and 4.1.2 and 2.1.1. Is there any relation between these three? Because I think consistently the target is 20 and it's women. Yes, Irene, you have your hand up. Please, you have the floor.
Irene, yes, please.
I wanted director to clarify because 1.11, no, 4.11,
Yeah.
4.12, 4.18. It looks to be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if.
Yeah, these ones are the same. No, I really admit those ones are the same thing. That's why I highlighted the already here because our target is 20, and that it featured in 2.1 there, 1.1, and then also 4.12, and then 4.18. So I think we just need to remove. We need to remove 2 out because they are the same.
Okay, and what about 417 support microfinance activities?
This one is like technical support, like monitoring, I mean, visit to these groups because we already have the groups and they are in existence already in Koboko and the Yumbe. So these are sessions that can be planned, like support visit to these VSLA groups. That is what we are meaning. So, but we said we can have support visits which can reach up to 24.
Okay.
I think clearly, just like Irene has put it, when you just say support microfinance activities, it's not specific, because this support is a very broad language you've used. But when you say these are support visits to existing, say VSLA groups in particular, because these are groups already, you have them, they're existing.
Yes.
When you say clearly these are support visits to existing VSLA groups, that makes it more specific, such that someone knows, okay, these 24 are just visits. These are support
Yes.
visits that will be done. But when you just say you're supporting VSL activities, maybe it's too broad, right? It's not very definite what exactly it is. Yeah. And yeah, that is something probably. Yeah. But also make sure that it is clear that these are support visits to existing VSL groups. I think, yeah. Thank you, Irene, for that.
I've already corrected that. Thank you very much. Existing special group. Okay. So we will remove 4.1.8 and then a 2.1.1. Is that okay? Does it make sense?
I think, members, that was the suggestions made, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So probably the fifth objective is to empower communities to combat climate change through educational sessions. So we said we want to increase community engagement on environmental protection and the resilience building. So for us to do that, we need to develop and implement community education sessions on climate change and environmental conservation. We said this can be done throughout the year, and we will have them in the 3 locations, and then we'll have these sessions up to 24. Up to 24. So because it has a component of developing more or less like IEC material that the community can be able to use. We say that the director and the program manager, they are in charge in ensuring that those things are worked on. 5.1.2, plan and execute climate change awareness campaigns. So we said we can have this throughout the quarter, the year, but we will have 4 of them organized. We plan and execute. Yeah, and then organize trainings on energy saving practices and sustainable agriculture techniques. We said we can do this in quarter 2 and 3, and then we will have them. We will have this 2 of them. I think here is put to be this one is being repeated. There's errors. Said we will have 2. Bidibidi Koboko and Palorinia, I think is not inclusive here. So we'll have partner with the local organizations to promote and support the implementation of energy saving practices. This we said we can do them throughout the year, and but we will have 4. Uh, 5.1.5 is the providing resources and the support to communities to facilitate the adoption of sustainable agriculture practices. We said we can have 2 of them. No, yeah, 2 of them. And then we have organized trainings of gaps and the CSA practices. We said we can have 2. And here we said we can celebrate World Water and the Sanitation Week Day, which is in Q1, which is 22nd to 27th of March. So we said we can also celebrate World Environment Day on 5th June. We said we can have this one. So that is that. Any comment?
Okay, Irene and Topista. Yeah, okay. Who do I give first? Okay, I'll give Topista and then I'll come to Irene.
Yes, I would like to observe. I think 5.1.1 and 5.1.2. Awareness and education sessions. They seem to be very similar. I don't know if you could bring out the differences clearly. Developing and implementing community education sessions on climate change, plan and execute climate change awareness campaigns. So, I don't know. For me, they look to be kind of related.
Actually, I wrote it down here that they look the same. Okay. Irene, you had your hand up. Sorry, before you come in, Topista, are you done with your question?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. Irene, you have the floor.
I don't know. I think the same question.
Yeah.
I look at 511 and 512 as the same thing, and 513 and 515 director. I don't know how you also explain that. 513 organized trainings on energy saving practices and sustainable agriculture tactics, and 515 provide resource and support to communities to facilitate the adoption of sustainable agricultural practices. So I don't know if this can also be
Irene, your network is breaking now. Oh, it is mine.
I think Irene looks like Irene has asked her question already. Have you gotten her question?
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah.
I got her question.
Yes. So you want to respond to those questions?
Yeah, just briefly. I think 5.1.1 and 5.1.2. This honestly, this is the same. Only the wordings, the ones that making it different. Actually, when we were asking that, and I think we can remove one out and then leave one. On
So
that, so
I have a question though. if you're planning to remove, what happens to the targets? Do they get shifted to the other objective? I mean, to the other action point?
Yeah, I think it's so.
So the number
Should be
increases to 28?
28.
Okay.
And then the other question is on provide
The
the
other question,
resources,
yeah,
1.5, 5.1.5. And then the other one is the training.
5.1.3.
This one provides resources and support to communities, training. So what is your comment, Chair?
Well, I think Irene was asking whether these are, say, not the same thing, because you're planning to organize, let's say, trainings on energy saving practices and sustainable agricultural techniques, right? Which agricultural techniques is what is under actually the gaps, because gaps is
Yes.
about good agricultural practices, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what the CSA is, but at least I know the gaps is about the good agricultural practices. Um, so when you look at 5.1.3 and 5.1.5, is your organizing, I mean, point 6 rather. They look really like the same thing, just like Irina said, because they all look at literally a similar thing. I don't know, maybe Irene could best clarify maybe her question better. Irene, you wanna have it?
Okay. Yes. Sorry, Director.
No, it's
I
okay.
don't know how you're going to defend our comment to the management and the finance as well, because she's not here. She would actually help us better. When organizing energy saving practices and sustainable agricultural techniques, and another activity, it's provide resource and support to communities to facilitate adoption of sustainable agricultural practices. And again, organizing training on gaps and the CSA practices. I don't know, maybe you can clarify before we can out, but they also look to be the same. And what if we bring 6 513 515 516 under one? Will it not work? That is my
513. Let me highlight. It 513 is I'm looking at I think and the 5 they are the same. They are really the same, eh? And the 6. But this 6 is more on gaps, meaning that the group is there, but probably the group needed to is not, there are certain things which are really not well, and that training now will be for specifically gaps identified to be fixed. Point 3 is specifically on energy savings and sustainable agricultural practices. And then 5 is provide resources. This one now has gone beyond. beyond the training. Now, the provision of resources probably to people. For example, one that I can say, we recently we supported it, we rewarded it best, champions environment in the bidding. We map them, and these are people who have who have who have gazetted places and they have planted trees meant to for sustainability. But maybe we can change the words.
Okay, Director, quick one. Look at 514, partner with the local organization to promote and support the implementation of energy saving practices. How is the organization plan to do that? And this training, are you doing this training to selected groups, or it's the same thing like you partner with already existing local groups in the community, you train them and you support them? Because I also read this 514, somebody can also help me. I don't think it also speak a different language.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually also had a question I was waiting to ask regarding 5.1.4, because it's not very clear on what exactly will happen, because you say there are four, but four, what exactly is it when it comes to the target number 4? Because there it is literally targeting with local organizations. Are you saying you're working on partnering with the 4 organizations, which is the target? What exactly is it?
What actually you brought in a point that for example, like the target there, you are meaning 4 organizations in those locations. Like for example, we have for Africa. For Africa is in Nobile, and then for them they're good at this energy savings thing. So meaning that when we'll have the groups, we will advocate, we partner with them to make sure that we things like training, the provision of resources and the like will be some of them. I mean, these local partners will be able to support me in terms of technicality and the like. That is what was in our mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like for Koboko, we can identify one. In Yumbe, we can identify one. For Obongi, we can identify one or two. Yeah. So, because Obongi is big, so that was what we are looking at. Maybe the point here is back to the provision of resources and the trainings. And the like. Can we resolve that? If it does not go well, we can.
I really do think that if you could, because just like you have said it, you people have something in mind when you developed these things, right?
Yeah.
And we wouldn't want to just come in and say, take this off, and so forth, because this is your working document, right? So the thing is, if you're able to rather clarify like what you guys are meaning, right? Because if for example, I mean, there is a clear-cut difference between a training and providing resources.
Yeah.
But if you're able to clarify what that is, right? What kind of resources, let's say, because resources is as huge in itself as anything else.
Okay, provision of resources. Yeah, like you said, it is really big. It's a big terminology. I'm not so sure if I can, but what was in our mind is to see that these communities, these groups that have formed themselves and they become champions of protecting the environment, we always recognize them. we recognize them. Like I gave an example of what we did recently. After assessing, we got over 80 groups, 4 groups, and then we supported them. Others, we even issued them certificates for being champions of champions of protection in protecting environment.
Let
So
me
that
ask
is
you,
sorry.
let me ask you a question.
Yes.
About these groups you supported. When you say you supported them and recognized them, what exactly did you do?
First of all, one we issued them, we awarded them certificates, and then we are moving also as far as providing them, giving them actually some funds. That is
Okay.
that is what we are thinking.
Then that is something you should provide very clear, right? Yes. Because if you're planning to fund, let's say, local communities to adopt, uh, let's say, GAPs or sustainable agricultural practices as such, should be as clear as that. And if you're supporting communities, what communities? Let's say if you have clearly said those are groups that are working on what and so forth like that, it would be much better to just clarify that as clear as that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's at least in my own opinion, that would kind of lead to make more sense.
Provide the resources to groups. Yeah. Groups to facilitate the adoption and okay. And then further clarification.
It looks like people don't have anything to say. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I think just moving forward, we can just fine tune the wordings to make it more clearer, to see that the message is clear.
I think you need to be just very specific. When you
Yeah.
say your funding, let it be funding. When you're doing that, I think that would just make it more clear.
Provide funds to groups. To facilitate the adoption of sustainable agriculture practices. Yeah. So can we move on?
Yeah, for sure.
Objective 6, strengthening organizational capacity and the funding through the responsive development and the submission of funding proposals and the concept notes and the fostering strategic partnerships and the coordination. We want to see that there's increased partnership building to increase financial base to support the implementation of the annual plan. 6.1.1 is identify areas for capacity building and the funding opportunities. This is the CECI, and this will be done in the office. So we are looking at the key areas. That's why we have put the target as 4. It could be 1 in M&E, 2 communication, 3 proposal development and concept writings and the like. Yes, please. Point 1.2 is develop and continuously update a database of funding opportunities and the potential partners aligned with the CECI's mission and the objective. This can be done in the office, in Koboko. design and develop strong project concepts, proposals, and the concept notes that respond to identified finding opportunities, and this can be done in Koboko as well. That is the ED and the communication persons, and then this one is management and then the board. Build and strengthen partnership with the relevant.
I have a question there. What is that target?
You are in 6.13.
1.3, yes.
Design and develop strong project concept proposals and the concept note that fund to identify. Actually, this is the number of projects being put, but I think this is not what we intended. I still remember this. We intended this to have to be 15, and we can do this quarterly, 14. I mean, on quarterly basis. That one is an error.
Okay, and also you need to clarify the thing to do with the, because you have the responsible person as management and board, and which is too broad. Because the thing is, we should be able to hold someone accountable for these actions, right? And when you just say management and board, who exactly in management and who exactly in board will be held accountable for these actions?
Obviously, yeah, the management, it is the ED. And the board, depending on area of whatever, I mean, I'm thinking that we are thinking that the board plays role, a great role when it comes to this, the designing and the development of the proposals. But depending on which area, because people have different specialization. That's why we just left it like that. We cannot say it's Patrick. We cannot say it is Topista like that. But here I can still be guided. Back to you, Chair.
Yeah, I think you've clarified that. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like to move a little faster, Topi? Yeah, you have a question. You have the floor,
Yes.
Topi.
On top of the ED, I believe like the program manager has a key role when it comes to issues of proposals. So it could be ED and the program manager from management side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you were to ask me, for example, on the opinion of the target number of proposals and concepts, I would think 14 is little.
Okay. Members, what do you think? We can increase to a certain number.
Of course, you need to develop as many proposals as possible. You need to increase that number.
Can you say 24 would be okay? Or we can still increase further. But 24 looks achievable.
Yeah, it looks achievable.
Yeah. So we can move on. Thank you. Build and strengthen partnership with relevant organizations, institutions, and stakeholders that align with the CECI missions and the objective. So we are thinking that we'll have built partnerships with four relevant organizations. But I think for me, this number maybe is small. Would you add it to 10? Regularly review and evaluate the impacts of CECI's current partnership and the funding sources that adjust strategies accordingly. We said we can have one in our 2 offices, but the person responsible will be a consultant. That is what we put there. And then establish a robust monitoring and a reporting system to track the progress and the impact of submitted proposals. We said this can be done in the Kaboko, but we can have one system established, and that can be led by ED and the board.
I have a question about that though. I know we have already a very good tracking system already in place. Why do you need to establish another one? We already have a good monitoring and tracking system for basically funding proposals, concepts and stuff, which is actually within our resource mobilization strategy, and which is also within the very, it's usually one of those things you fill out, I think, as part of your report and so forth. So why do we need something new?
Yeah, I think it has come clearly from you. If so, then suggest that this can be removed.
But I think you haven't yet explained how you people arrived to that.
Establish a robust monitoring and a reporting system to track the progress and the impact of submitted proposals. I think what happened there, we just have made this thing. We oh my God. Basically, I think maybe what we could have put here is to evaluate, which I think is up there, but that one is more on fund partnership, and the word here we could use evaluate the system, the reporting, and the system which is put in place. Have I responded to your question?
Yeah, yeah, you have. Yeah, and I think clearly you haven't provided a clear evaluation, I mean justification for that particular action point, because we literally do have a very good system of tracking. I think the question might be, which is more of whether you people are using it the way it's supposed to at the management level.
Yeah, can we say we can evaluate that system which is put in place, and then probably, yeah.
Yeah, that can be done if yeah, for sure, if the systems, yeah, Topi, yeah.
Because
When we talk of evaluating our system, it means I think something is not right with it.
Yeah.
So I believe, I don't know how to put it, but could it be like to operationalize the system if it has not been done?
Maybe to
Something like
operationalize
that.
it.
When you say evaluate, it means you still have doubts on the system that is in place. That's
Yeah,
how I look at it.
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that one makes sense. Let us use the word operationalize. Operationalize the existing monitoring and the reporting system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And it's
Yeah.
important that it is important though that it makes more sense to you because you people are going to be the one implementing it. Yes, Ayo Irene.
Sorry, director, we are over disturbing you.
It's okay.
Uh, I thought of coming in before we also finish this part. I somehow went to pick my extension so that my computer remain, with power. I was about to go off. I don't know if you guys also discuss about 614 and 617. If these different things, because I'm trying to read, I am not understanding the differences. If you clarify.
We have not yet reached to 7. 4 is a build and strengthen partnerships, the relevant organization, institutions, and the stakeholders that align with this mission. 7 is regularly engage with the partners and the stakeholders to ensure effective coordination and collaboration towards shared goal. Yeah, here when you look at 7, it is more of our engagements in the community. There are regular meetings that happen, coordination meetings, cluster meetings, like that in the areas where we operate. But we still insist that we need to have this done regularly. Regularly. Like for example, now when it comes to the commemoration of the Women's Day, all partners who are working there, they get engaged too, but given different roles. Yeah. So that is the meaning. Focus there is the coordination. But there is build and strengthen partnership with the relevant organizations. This partnership could be corporate partners, could be, for example, let me use C10. C10, for example, that works in the settlement. So strengthening that means coming to them specifically for certain things, apart from those other uh, engagements in the settlements. So that is what I can clarify there, and
Uh,
that was what we were thinking.
Benson, okay, thank you for your response. And I think Irene really makes a valid point. Uh, but from your explanation as well, you try to make a valid point, and which I think is good to look at both perspectives. Because
Mm-hmm.
if are you talking about? Okay, let's look at it. 6.1.4 is talking about building new partnerships. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
You're building new partnerships.
new
And
partnership.
then 6.1.7 is regularly engaging with the current partners and stakeholders that CECI is working with.
Yes, that is what we are meaning.
Okay, then it would be good for you to clarify that.
So that is what meaning there. Can we move on?
I think you should clarify that and edit it as part of it later on. Yes. So yeah, we can move on.
Build new. Right. 8, participate in relevant conferences, workshops, and the networking opportunities to enhance CECI's visibility and their reputation. There are conferences that happen and the workshops that are organized sometimes by partners and this. So, and we said this can be done in Palorina, in Bidibidi, and then in Koboko. We have not put target in that because we don't know how many, but maybe we can put a target on that. For example, could you say maybe 15, because we usually have many workshops and conferences that we engage in. And that is the role of the management. Take a lead on that. So continuously monitor and evaluate CECI's capacity and the funding strategies, making an adjustment as needed. So we say this can be done in Koboko, and we can have this these evaluations on quarterly basis. This is the management and the board. So any comment? If I jump to objective 7. If no, I can move on and say to strengthen accountability and enhance project impact through implementing a robust results monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning mechanism that actively engages all relevant stakeholders. So result-focused project implementation documented. So 7.1.1 is establish clear and a comprehensive meal framework outlining success and the measurement metrics for all CECI projects. And then said the program manager and the meal focal person can do that, and we'll have it one. Implement a regular monitoring process that actively involves all relevant stakeholders in the evaluation process. We said we can do this quarterly basis, and we can have 4 of them. Develop stakeholders engagement plan that promotes active participation of relevant parts in the meal process. So they can develop that plan 1, and the management can do that. 4, regularly evaluate project outcomes and the progress against established goals and the objectives. You can have this 4. And then conduct periodic stakeholder review sessions to gather feedback and make necessary adjustment to project strategies. We said you can have 3. Communicate project results and the progress regularly to stakeholders to ensure a shared understanding of impact. Said you can have this 4. 7 is invest in personnel and the data collection tools such as cameras, computers, and the voice recorders to support effective meal processes. Said you can have 1. Management and the board. Establish an accountability system that prioritizes transparency and the accurate reporting of project progress and the impact. Have this 1, management and the board. Yeah. Any clarification if I move to objective 8?
Any questions, colleagues?
if no question, 8 is to build a strong, motivated, and a sustainable human resource at CECI through strategic workforce planning, development, training, and fostering a supportive work environment. Highly skilled and motivated workforce at CECI demonstrated by improved employee satisfaction, reduced staff turnover, and a successful implementation of workforce development initiative leading to improved program delivery and impact. So 8.1.1, assess current staff capacities and identify areas for improvement. This we've said quarter 1, in the quarter 3, and we can have 2. That will be headed by the management. Implement training and the development programs to enhance skills, professional growth, and leadership development. We said we can have 2 in quarter 3 and quarter 2. The board and the management implement a performance evaluation system that includes clear expectations, regular feedback, and a goal setting. Said quarter 1, and we said we can do it once, the board and the management. Foster a positive work environment that promotes collaboration, open communication, and teamwork. We can do this all throughout the year. We can have it done in our office, and we say we can have a target of 12, management and the board. Regularly communicate and engage with the staff to understand their needs and the concerns. We said we can have this 12 done, and the management takes lead in that. Develop and implement strategies to reduce staff turnover. This we can have 4, the board and the management in Kobo. So evaluate and adjust workforce development initiative to ensure their sustainability and effectiveness. Can have this twice. And this will be done by the management. Yeah. Any clarification to make from that objective?
I have a question,
Yes.
Executive Director, about 8.1.4. You talk about fostering a positive work environment that promotes collaboration, open communication, and teamwork. And then you say 12. What is that exactly? What's the 12?
And I was even thinking about it.
When you people were putting 12, what was it exactly? What is the idea of
foster a positive work environment that promotes collaboration, open communication, teamwork? So this 12, is periodically engaging with the staff. That was the meaning of 12.
Okay, Topista has her hand up. Probably she has another question. Yeah, Topi?
No, I don't have a question. I'm trying to find out, is it like the monthly staff meetings is referring to, or is it any other communication?
Those are specific.
Because if you look at 8.14, 8.15, they also seem to be the same thing.
Yeah, because the target, apparently the target is not very clear what it is exactly. Because at this point, okay, it's you want to foster a positive work environment. So how do you know that actually has happened, right? And
yeah, here we're talking about fostering a positive work environment. Means from time to time, you can have sessions, probably even outside the office with the team. For example, like yesterday, we commemorated the Women's Day. What we had to do is in the evening, we have to move out and they had dinner together as a team. And there people begin to share things freely. Yeah, that is what is in our mind. That from time to time we need to come out as a team, and then yeah. So those are what we're meaning here.
So what you're meaning is not you holding staff sessions with the staff, but you're meaning going out for dinners and stuff?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Director,
Yes, please.
for honoring the International Women's Day.
Okay, you're welcome.
But I have a comment there. Just your last explanation before we go far. What in going out? Do we go out to celebrate maybe the success of the organization? What is the agenda? Because if we said we do it every time, will it based on the performance of the organization? Something there that I love to understand. And when here in aid we are talking more about employees of CECI. I would also love to see, maybe you say employees attendance daily, the time they report at work, would also be something of that kind. And 7, before we finish, in our meeting, I don't remember what was that meeting. We said the visibility of, online media wise, not really, we should do something because we have a lot of activities. It is not updated online. So in the work plan, I don't know if you have it somewhere, we should also have that. How can we increase, say, visibility? You've said attending workshop and what of you, but what of in the media? This are two that we wanted to bring on the table, and you talk about that somewhere. Yeah.
Great, thank you. So I think one, we need to add another I've picked that clearly to include a specific activity on visibility.
I think that another thing she just said is you being able to really clarify what that is all about, because because it doesn't seem justifiable at all that you're going out every month, for example, for dinner, right? as you have explained earlier. It doesn't
No,
say
not ever.
that just because 12, 12 that's the point. 12 is not, you have not actually defined what 12 is, apparently. And which is actually why I asked the question, because I have no idea what 12 is. And I don't know if any one of you has an idea what 12 is. Because when you say 12, what is that 12 exactly? Is 12 what? Right? Because
12 is the,
Mhm.
yeah? 12 is the number of times people get out and have some, for the example I gave the dinner.
Yeah, hey,
Is
Irene,
that
you have your hand up.
Yes, director, maybe also a quick one. This going out will be facilitated by the organization, or the management contributes their own resources and they plan to go out together? You would also clarify, because if it is the management and with their own resource, then maybe I don't see any problem there. But if organization is where it become a burden, because 12 times, is it 12 times in a month, or 12 times in a year, or 12 times in a quarter?
this is put in form of a month. But just to respond to the question of the budget, one, here when we only last year that we 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 used the money for us to go together and close the year. We brought in our stakeholders and we have to provide them refreshment and the like. But this, whatever it is, completely the responsibility of the employees. Like like yesterday, three of them go and contributed and said, well, let us go and just sit and have fun. So those ones are really outside the organizational thing. But we realize that it is very important when we come, we go and have fun, talk about also achievement, talking about some challenge that we face as employees and the like, and people. That is why now we see that when we're creating a positive environment.
Yeah, Topi, you have your hand up.
Yes, looking at these team building events,
Yeah,
um, I see where we can try to adapt. Like for
yeah,
us at SEP, what we do
yeah,
is once a month on a Monday morning, let's say,
yeah,
you gather together.
yeah.
So it is just a standing, let's say, 15-minute uh,
Mm-hmm.
time spent together.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea is to bring everyone together, and
Mm-hmm.
they mention what is going right, what is going wrong, and how
Yeah,
we can do better. So
yeah,
it is normally just a brief session, and I
yeah,
think it's a great initiative for team
yeah,
building, for
yeah.
communication, and to build that rapport among the team. So if we could
Absolutely.
adapt such a thing, it can still be monthly, and
Yeah.
but on top of that, if they also decide, like
Mm-hmm.
they have their personal contributions and they go out for dinner, what, it is
Mm-hmm.
also fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I was also going to say to them, I mean to Benson, that Oxfam, Oxfam Uganda has a similar thing, like the one just Topista talked about. For them, they meet as well every month. Like the beginning of the month or the end of the month, all the staff come together, and then they have this standing meeting outside. Everyone is there, and then it's funny. It's fun. People provide, like, just quick reports on what is going on and so forth, and make fun each other. It's more like a way to catch up really with what is going on with people in different places, both at work and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I think those are very good options for you to explore.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you. We can move on.
When you say you are going to regularly communicate with the staff to understand their needs and concern, what exactly are these things? Are you talking about staff check-ins?
Yeah, like the experience I have with the experience I have here.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's stuff when they are stressed,
Mm-hmm.
they get the issues at the home and the like, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And and for me, I take it as a deliberate. Not if I see you in a way that you're not really feeling well, I
Mm-hmm.
call you aside and sit with me, just discuss what is the problem, and we end it there with, yeah. So that is what I was meaning, so that
That
you'll be able.
sounds more like a contingency, but
Mm,
what I am asking is a real practical in-place plan to do check-ins with the staff, which is
mm,
very critical, by the way, of doing check-ins, like what I do with you, right? Doing
yeah,
check-ins with you to find out how everything is going on, if you need any support and stuff like that.
mm,
And
mm.
but doing that with the staff. Yeah, Ayo,
Yes.
you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Mine is on 816 and 817, development strategies to uh, turnover and evaluate adjust workforce development initiatives to ensure their sustainability and effectiveness. Maybe if also director would clarify on this, so that it brings simple understanding, especially to me. I don't understand it well. Or any member just
Yes, Patrick, you are coming.
Yeah, Irene just asked a question, so yeah, I think you have the floor, Benson.
Evaluate just for their sustainability. This is more on individual. This is more on the individual stuff. We and we do this so that we'll be able to know where the gap is, where there's need for support. Yeah, and that's why we are talking about the sustainability and the effectiveness of this. But we can have these sessions done once in a while. Yeah, so that is what we are meaning here. The other one is the six, right? Develop and I know you are talking about the six, right? 6 and 7.
Yeah, she was talking about that.
Mm.
yes.
So six is develop and implement strategies to reduce staff turnover. Um, there are many ways here of doing that. One to effectively deliver, and then in motivating, I mean, identifying those gaps also in terms of gaps that can be either can be so that the staff can be able to can be helped, maybe through mentorship, through one, but we cannot do that unless we develop this is strategies that they will put at place to make sure that that is then, and I think that is what we are meaning here.
Irene, are you answered?
Are we okay? Can we move on?
Irene, has he answered your question? Can he move on?
Sorry, my network.
No,
Network is
no worries at all.
okay. So then let me proceed. To strengthen CECI's governance.
Try to evaluate to understand.
Mm,
I have not understood it well,
okay.
but
So,
I will try to evaluate and also understand it. But it's not clear enough yet. But that's okay. You can move.
I so Irene, CECI has a workforce development program in place currently, which is more like tailored on like strengthening capacities of the staff, or it's more like offering them a refresher kind of a training in different areas that could be a gap. And usually is something facilitated by the executive director or the programs manager. Like they organize that and then deliver that. And so I don't know if by saying you're trying to evaluate and then adjust those, are you referring to those kind of initiatives, Benson, or new initiatives altogether?
Now I'm referring to those existing already.
Okay. Irene, does that clarify?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So our objective 9 is to strengthen CECI's governance and operational efficiency through developing, reviewing, and implementing effective policies, efficient management of resources, and the regular audits, the compliance with the set standards. So we expect that there should be improved governance and the management of the organization for sustainability. Review 9.911. Review existing policies and the guidelines to identify area for improvement and the revision. The board is responsible in that in the management. So our target is 3 policies, which are the existing one, be reviewed at the end of the year. Develop new policies and the guidelines as needed to address emerging organizational needs and the priorities. So we're looking at the 2 policies. Ensure that all policies and the guidelines are aligned with the relevant legal and the regulatory requirements. So we're looking at the 4. Implement a system for monitoring compliance with the policies and the guidelines across all operations. We have not put target there. Regularly schedule board meetings to provide governance oversight and ensure effective decision making. We target 4, and that is the board chair and the management to take a lead in the organization. Organize regular coordination meetings between staff and the other stakeholders to ensure effective resource management and alignment of effort. We had put 48, and that is the role of the management. 7, conduct periodic internal and external audits to assess compliance with the standards and identify areas for improvement. Say the 1. We say the 2, because we have 1 as internal and then 2 external. To ensure a functional and efficient workplace. We say the 1, you can do this 1. Ensure timely payment of office rent to maintain a stable operational environment. We say the quarterly, and that is the role of the management, which you put there. Any point to clarify? As far as objective.
Yeah, Topi had a question. Yeah, Topi, you have the floor.
Yes, when we look at 9.1.6, are we organizing the coordination meetings or are we participating? The 48 coordination meetings.
These one are staff. These are staff meetings. Huh? We do them weekly. Have I answered you?
I see where you've written between staff and other stakeholders. Maybe there's need to refresh if it's just the weekly staff meetings.
Okay.
This is one day we learn someone in problem. And that is very true. You know, anyone would literally look at that and it doesn't think these are actually staff meetings. You should put it very clear. These are regular staff coordination meetings. Full stop. But when you start bringing in other things and saying even it is between this staff and other stakeholders, and this is a lot. It makes it entirely different.
Organize regular staff coordination meetings. Yeah. Corrected that already?
Yeah, and under the responsible person, I think it should clearly be the ED, because like I said, the other things that have to be very clear, because if it's just management, who do we hold accountable, right?
Yeah.
And also, yeah. And also, if it is ED and another person within the management, then that would also be clarified, so you know who else you're holding accountable and so forth. And yeah, I think, and I had a question which is different from the one Topi raised. Mine had to do with the 9.1.3. You said one of the action points is to ensure that all our policies align with the legal requirements, like legal laws, the laws of Uganda and stuff like that. And then you say 4. What exactly is that for?
Okay. This 4 is the number of policies.
So are you saying only 4 policies should align with the local laws, others don't have to?
No, this one's just for this year. No, the thing is, when you're reviewing the existing policy, you say the three that probably we can be able to achieve this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then and then somewhere we said it can also develop new policies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we say the two. So meaning that this is two. Actually, this would have been five because our focus is on the five policies.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would have put here five.
So if that is the case, then you should make sure that it is ensured that all reviewed and maybe newly developed policies and guidelines are aligned. Because if you say just the old policy, you're literally saying all policies at CECI. But out of all of them, only 4 should comply with the government laws.
Ensure that all policies. Okay. Which whatever you were reading?
It's
9.
9.1.3.
9.1 and 3. Ensure that all policies and guidelines are aligned with relevant. So you want me to make it specific?
Yeah, if this is particularly referring to those policies you're talking about, which is policies that are reviewed and the new ones that will be developed, then it's just good to be as clear as that. Yeah, Ayo Irene, you have your hand up. Such that it's clear that it's all reviewed and the newly developed policies and guidelines are aligned with, the legal uh, uh, requirements of Uganda. Yes, Ayo.
Okay, yes, thank you. Director, maybe a quick one. If you're saying 4 policies, if you can also specify and say maybe human resource policy, maybe child protection policies, you put the 4 so that when you put that figure 4 there, we know, okay, in bracket you put these 4 policies. That means for now our focus are to develop these policies and ensure that it aligns to the law of the land. I don't know if me there. So
Yes. Chair, you want to come in?
No, I think she has made it very, very clear. It's
Yeah.
you and her now.
Okay. That one I've taken note of it. I will correct it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we did this specific. We already as management we had the policies, but we have made few selections of those policies that need to be reviewed, which I think will include here. And then the new policies, I think we were talking about communication policy, child protection. So those are the new policies that we need to be put in place. As I've taken note of this, can I move further?
Sure.
Yeah, objective 10, almost to enhance the visibility and the support of CECI's programs and projects in refugee communities by effectively communicating our impact and the activities to key stakeholders through strategic media outreach and multimedia storage.
Just a quick one, Ben. Topi
Yes.
has got her hand up. Topi, you have the floor.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to see through 9 point. Benson, could you come down a bit? Where there's no target. for it.
Oh,
While
yeah,
in
yeah,
9.4,
9.1.4.
there's no target. So implement a system for monitoring and compliance. So how would you like to do that? Is it quarterly? Is it? I think the target should have been included.
That's true.
Implement a system for monitoring compliance, policies and guidelines across all operations. Yeah, I think this is quarterly again. Okay, we move on.
I think you can move on, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I don't know.
Right. Okay. So 10.1 is enhanced. We expect that enhancement of CECI's online presence to rule documentation and improve the visibility on digital and social media platforms. 10.1.1, develop a media and a communication strategy for CECI to maximize visibility and the support including key messages and the tactics. Now, this is the communication policy we are talking about. Said one, and the board is responsible in that. Utilize digital and the social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the organization's website to reach a wider audience, increase engagement, and spread awareness of CECI's work. Say the four. Management and the communications. Provide training and the support to CECI staff and the volunteers to enhance their communications and the multimedia storytelling skills. Said we can have that one. Collect and document impactful stories, images, and the videos that showcase the impact and the outcomes of CECI's work in the refugee communities. We said we can document these stories on quarterly basis. Assign designated staff to document all staff activities in a timely and a comprehensive manner. We said we need one person, and that, yeah. And then create a cloud database to store and organize all documentation of CECI activities. Say the one, so the responsibility is given to board chair and the ED. Share documentation with the stakeholders such as media outlets and the journalists to increase CECI's media coverage. We said this can be shared on a quarterly basis. It is the board chair and the ED. Adopt a policy mandating the use of official email address for all communications by CECI staff for consistency, professionalism, and a centralized record keeping. This is done. This is the board to adopt that policy. We need one. So, yeah. Any point of clarification on that objective?
Any questions, colleague? On objective 10? Yes, Topi, you have your hand up.
Yes, when you look at objective 10, there is 10.1.4, collect and document impactful stories. Then 10.1.5, assign a designated staff to document. I think those can be merged into one because it's the same activity, and I see down it's just a matter of assigning one person. So I don't know. I believe that should be the same activity.
Yeah, I think it could be match too for sure.
Then it should be able to read that assign is staff to collect and document. Could we say like that?
Yeah, for sure. Still can work.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be more specific to only topic.
I think
Is that a new
we
one?
should want, yeah, it's a new hand. I think their signing can be silent. The collect and document is already enough because someone will have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it can still remain collect and document impactful stories.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then Ayo has her hand up too. Ayo, you have the floor.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. 1011 and 1012.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if can be the same thing because already what I know, maybe director can help me clarify that. Don't we have already website for CECI and other pages, maybe Instagram, Facebook, those things? So because number one says developed media and communication strategy for CECI to maximize visibility and support, including key messages and tactics. And if you see the second one, utilize digital and media platform like Facebook, to me, it looks like the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah. What is the other saying?
Um, I'm looking
Uh,
at 10.1.1. I think if we could rephrase, because it could be developing a media and communications policy, yeah,
yeah.
to maximize the visibility. Then, of course, if that is what we adopt, then the 10.1.2 can remain. Now, to utilize that digital and social media platforms, they would be different. But when you say strategy and then here utilize, they appear the same. But if we are developing a deliberate communications policy, then they will be different, I think.
Actually, that is what we are meaning. That's why we said one of the policies that need to be developed, the new policy is the communication policy. But I've corrected it there. Patrick, do you want to come in?
No. Yeah, I think they have made a very, very good feedback. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't add anything for sure.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Can we move on to the last objective?
Sure.
Okay, objective 11, to secure office space for CECI at all the operation areas for safe, would have been for safety. We expected that there is safe and a secure environment for CECI assets and the personnel. Then 11.1.1 is lobby for office space from the local governments for CECI offices in Obongi, Kobo, and the Koboko municipality. So here we said we'll continue to lobby and we will need two at least from these locations. Procure land, which is 30 by 30 meters for CECI's core curriculum and the innovation activities. And we say this can be done in Koboko. And that is the management and the board. So with all this, We'll read this statement as the last thing. According to this action plan, activity table, the first quarter begins in January and runs through March. The second quarter follows in April and runs through June. The third quarter falls in July, from July to September. Then the fourth quarter falls in from October. So that is from me to you. Thank you.
Topista has her hand up actually.
Okay.
Much as it was an old hand, I was going to raise
Okay.
a new hand still. I think there's need to rephrase the note to be a little bit more organized, maybe like according to this action activity table. First quarter runs from January 2023 to March 2023. Second quarter, April 2023 to June. Something simple, but
Okay.
not all those words and false should be avoided. Maybe just that rephrasing that statement.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also punctuation. You know, punctuation can change the entire meaning of a statement. Yeah. And
Yes, Patrick.
yeah, I wanted to say something about 10.1.5.
Okay. I have highlighted it there, yes.
Yeah. I think I don't know how this is. So I have noticed that there's differences in these two, in the sense that 10.1.5 provides a bigger picture in terms of actual documentation of activities as they happen, because it's talking about activities. And then 10.1.4 is talking about the stories, which is more like what would I say? It's more like
Like a human story, success story, something.
yeah, it's more like something that comes at a later stage of evaluation.
Yeah.
Of let's say programmatic success and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if colleagues you see the differences between those two. Because I know documenting all activities is something that happens with all activities as it happens. And collecting and documenting impactful stories and videos. And when you also look at like, this is really, the difference is very slim. So slim. Okay. I think colleagues, it looks like we are done, and those adjustments have been made. Any comments particularly that you would like to make, such that we can just, I know the budget is really nothing much because it's just figures and stuff and so forth. Is there anything that you need to make? Could be comments, particularly on the work plan. Ayo, you have the floor. And Topi, you also have your hand up. Ayo, we'll begin with you. Go ahead. Ayo, you have the floor.
Hey, sorry, I thought I was on.
Oh, sorry, you
Sorry.
yeah.
So there are a few things that I would love to put across. One is a staff retreat, which I've not seen, because this also helps so much, to develop our staff mentally. It will
Mm-hmm.
also motivate them a lot
Mm-hmm.
as they plan already, like to go out for dinner from their own pocket. Maybe if organization can also plan for a retreat, even if once a year,
Mm-hmm.
in case we have cash, or we can also lobby for that. That one is good because the kind of people we work with, they're also like the person of concern,
That's true.
people with trauma, people with a lot of issues at home. So a retreat will really also help us, to mentor them, support them through the process as they work with us. Then we've been planning for the board visit, which I don't see on the work plan. If maybe that also would be included, even if any quarter, so that it is planned for. It's good. Some of us, we've never visited CC office, and it's good if we visit so that we know when you're talking about the organization, the location of the office, if this would also be part of the work plan for this year, would really be good. Then my recommendation is that as we develop plans, we should be having knowledge of how these plans or work plans would contribute to the organizations. Because uh, if we put organization first, our strategies go straight. And when you ask, we develop this because we are looking at this. There's a gap here. We've realized if we put this in place, it will help us to develop. It will help organization to do this. Sometimes we adopt work plan that are not ours, and if maybe we are asked to lobby using our work plan, sometimes we can fail because we cannot defend that. So that would really help director next time. And the last one is that if director would kindly go before deleting what we've discussed, that was just an eye drop. So it is now uh, the ball is back to him to take it to the management, and they discuss as a team, give a full report. As both they discuss this, and they gave comment on these points. So these were their comments. So maybe among the management team, there's one who gave that point and probably might defend it better before we delete it. You can discuss, and in case there's need, you can write and get back to us and say, okay, last time we talked about this point, but we failed to defend. But I think there's more clarity here that makes sense, so that board can again review, because nothing is final. Board can again review and say, okay, if it is like this, then it is better, then it is good, then there's no need to remove. So this is my last, and good night. Thank you, everybody, and good day for Patrick.
Thank you. Sophie, you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you. My last comments, I'm going to now link our work plan to the budget. I had initially made my comments on that previous communication,
Yeah.
because our targets in the work plan were not aligning with what we had in the budget. So like I said, they need to speak the same language. All the targets here most of them have, actually almost all have budget implications. So sometimes we get worried that we may include these things, but where's the money? That should not be the focus, because the whole idea of having these things linked is to ensure that when opportunities present themselves, they can be funded from whichever resources that we raise. So those key areas needed to be addressed. I am happy to report that what I suggested in the budget realignments, in the quotas and the totals were done, and the comments were put. So there's need to at least include comments in every uh, budget item for clarity for others who may not have been part of it. So those are the observations I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Topi, and thank you so much, Irene. I think those are very, very good comments. Benson, I am hoping that you've taken note.
Yeah, I've taken note of them.
That's awesome. Okay. I think, do we really have to look at the budget? I think at this point, everything in the budget changes and a little bit based on the feedbacks and so forth. A little bit, some changes happen. I don't know, but I'm going to leave it up to you, colleagues, to decide. Because we have already, oh my God, so much out of time. Way out of time.
Yeah, like a
So,
topic start.
Sophie, you have your hand up. Yeah, you have the floor.
For me, I think we leave the secretariat to work on the budget, to adopt the changes we've made, so that they present a fully worked budget, and then if it can be shared on Google Docs, fine, we look at it
and then approve just.
Yes.
Yeah, I would think the same too. Ben, you had some. Okay, Ayo has her hand up. Ayo, you have the floor. Sorry, your network. Yeah, I think your network is breaking.
You. That's break me.
Network was breaking, Ayo.
Okay, I would
Now
suggest that.
yeah.
Yeah, I would suggest that director first go back and have meeting with management. They look at our comment on the work plan, and where there's need, they also, work on the budget. And again, if we can convince another meeting as soon as possible, because the Google Doc, why I don't support, we are so committed. Sometimes you get engaged in coursework, in something. So like me, in a group like this, I can participate, but alone, sometimes you approve something you don't understand, everything need explanation. So if we can again organize for the last meeting,
Yeah.
soon as possible, then we conclude from there. Other than, again, going Google Doc, taking time, we also need to prepare for the quarter meeting. Like some of us who are starting,
Yeah.
It will be too. That is from me, though. Thank
No,
you.
that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Ben, I think it's pretty clear. And look, you guys have done an amazing job. And I think we all agree here that you guys have done an amazing job. And you guys can just work on the feedback And then, like Topista has rightly said in the email, uh, you have to align the budget to speak the same language with the work plan. And mind you, that's why last time I told you that you guys have to start working with the work plan first, because it gives birth to the budget. It's like the budget is the product of the work plan. So you guys want first to work and finalize the work plan, and then make sure that whatever changes you're making the budget speaks the same language as the work plan, if that makes sense. Over to you, Benson.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think I've taken the comments. We'll convene meeting as soon as possible, but I would also suggest that we can also share this thing on emails.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps one can be able to get time to go through it and have the comments. I saw a comment from Emmanuel that is going to comment through email.
Yeah.
So based on the business schedules, and I think that could also be able to work. So after I am going to populate these comments and share with my team and see how we can put the other things. Yeah, that is what I can say for now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for today. And I think we are done with all that has to be done. And today, I'm asking someone to do me the honors of closing our meeting. And I think the person, before I call the person to come and do the honors, I'm going to ask that the person, before the person closes, gives everyone an opportunity to say one or two things before the person can close the meeting. And the person I'm calling on is our graduate, Topista. Do us the honors of closing the meeting today.
Congratulations, Inadiva.
Thank you so much for giving me the honors, inviting the members to give their closing remarks before we can close our meeting. Irene, would you like to start? Then we go to Benson, and then we can conclude with Patrick.
Not really. Let me be the second.
Okay, Benson.
It's okay. Thank you for the opportunity to say a word. I really want to say thank you very much for this team spirit. And I encourage us to continue with that spirit of sharing and learning from one another. Some of these things, we don't take them for granted, because it will continue to improve your capacity here and there. So thank you all for your time. That has taken a little bit longer, but I would say wisdom. God bless you all, and congratulations to Pista.
Okay, thank you, Irene.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the time. And thank you, Director. I've learned a lot from you. Your passion, your courage, your confidence is exceptional, because when you ask a lot of questions like this, it's not easy to be a leader. I am learning a lot from you. Your confidence, your courage inspire me a lot. And our hard work towards social development is it's another thing that keeps us moving every day. So yeah, I said teamwork. It's the word. Teamwork. It's everything. So let's just stand strong and keep moving and ensure that the organization moves forward. Thank you so much. Congratulations to my sister. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Like for you as a woman, it means a lot to graduate. So that is nice, and I wish you well for your graduation tomorrow. And I wish you could also tell us which university you're graduating from, because I'm saying congratulations, but I don't know which university you're graduating from.
Thank you, Irene. I'll tell you after uh, our chair speaks, then I will conclude. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, right now I am no longer the chair. You are the chair. Uh,
Okay,
uh,
fine. I'll speak after Patrick has given his closing remarks.
okay. Thank you so much, Topista. Um, I just wanted to thank you all for sacrificing always out of your most busy schedules to be able to attend our meetings that seem lengthy, uh, a lot of mental work and stuff, and you're still able to do that. That commitment, I can't appreciate it enough. And I just want you to know I am really, really so thankful for all of you being able to do that. Um, there's a common saying, which probably all of you have heard it before. It says that coming together is a beginning. Uh, Staying together is progress, but working together is success. And we have not only been able to come together as a team, not only have we been able to stay together as a team, but we are actually working together as a team. And clearly, I can see us doing great together. And I just want to thank you all for that. And finally, um, I want to say congratulations to Topista Oleru Pamela uh, for her graduation tomorrow. Chair, we are so happy that this is happening. And personally, I couldn't be more prouder to know that you're graduating tomorrow. I honestly wish I could be able to attend it. Sadly, I can't, but I'll do my part. And in celebrating the day tomorrow with you. Uh, Overall, thank you all so much. Over to you, Chair.
Okay, thank you everyone for this time we've had together to review the work plan. I must say, much as it has been a long time that we've taken to review, for me as a person, I've not seen it as it has been time well spent, because we have moved, we have made a milestone in coming up with our annual work plan, which is actually one of the key things which should have been done the first month of the year. But nevertheless, we have made greater progress, because I believe from this process, it will be easier to come up with the budget and develop it. And that, to me, is a great achievement. So I especially want to thank all of us for sparing the time, for participating actively. It has been so interactive. And like Irene said, to the ED for being resilient to our questions, because it brings out exactly what we are doing, and we learn through those interactive sessions of questions and answers. Fine, Irene. Tomorrow we are graduating as CPAs, that is Certified Public Accountants. That is a professional course that we did, and it is by the government of Uganda under the Accountants Act. So the Institute of Certified Public Accountants was authorized under the Accountants Act to run this program to ensure that professional accountants are trained and then they serve the country. So in the near future, you may realize that those who have not gone through the professional course may not be allowed to participate in any uh, accountancy work. So basically, that is where the government is headed, that everyone who works in the accounting section, in the finance section, should be professional accountants, because then they will be able to understand things of the standards that are expected, things are expected in areas of taxation and all that. So it is supposed to be a 10-year course, 10 years, simply because uh, they believe. For me, I don't believe that it is a difficult course. So you fail, you sit, you fail, you pass, like that. So they give it 10 years. I am proud I did it in 4 years. Due to COVID, I could have done 3 years, but 4 years was not so bad. I finished in 2021. Unfortunately, due to COVID, from 2020, graduations didn't take place. So they had to combine 2020, 2021, and 2022. Otherwise, initially, they used to do it every year around March. So that is the brief about the graduation tomorrow. I am so happy and I appreciate all your wishes. And I believe God has been with me along this journey and He has brought me this far. And He'll still take me far, because I have also enrolled for another professional course. This one now is in tax. It's supposed to be 5 years, but I'm hoping to do it in 2 years. So we shall be in this journey together. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to dictate. Patrick said the opening prayer. Irene can help us to say the closing prayer, and then after that, the meeting will automatically be adjourned. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's humble ourselves and pray. Thank you, King of Glory. Thank you for the gift of life for today. Thank you that we have started with you. We've come to the closing time, God. I pray that you guide us through the journey ahead. For anything we've spoken that does not give glory to you, forgive us. And put our desires in action so that it prospers. I know that you're with us from the beginning until now. I will have to uh, pray that you protect your daughter tomorrow during her graduation, give her the strength and guides her through the celebration, and us who will celebrate with her in spirit, King of Glory, Father. We give you all the glory and honor. You said anything that happens, it happens because you are there. And we testify that because of you, that's why she's graduating, O King of Glory, Father. This is a development in this family, King of Glory, Father. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for everything. I pray and believe that you continue blessing us for our journey ahead. I pray all this and believe in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Have a good day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, all of you. It was nice having you.
It was nice having you too.
Yeah, it was really good. I loved this.
So I can show you guys my shash.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
oh, but why is my camera not coming on?
Your camera is not coming?
Okay.